Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping like it's New Year's Eve. Boy, it's James IV. That's Roman numeral 4 off the top with the intro. What up, K-Sap? No cap, that's the big bro. You know the ladies hold it down for the team. We be the hottest on this YouTube screens. We got sports, media, news, that round table talk. Them other parts ain't got the same sauce. Nah, hit us in the chat, but no haters allowed. Send you to the block party, what you gotta say now? We on live, hit us up and subscribe. If you like it to share, show love instead of staring. Man behind the mic, numbers don't lie. Send me a super chat to all that may apply. Ain't no party like an SPD party. Let's get the show started, pull up, everybody. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. Let's get it poppin', man, I'm simply ball dropping. You must love us cause you can't stop watching. You must love us cause you can't stop watching.
Yo, what up? It's your favorite host, the man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. What up? Yeah, today, man, we got to talk about the great switch up of your boy, Tony Grossi. Tony Grossi out there switching things up, man. I don't know why. Yeah, Tony Grossi out there switching things up, man. Trying to figure out what's going on here, man. Like, try to figure out what's going on with my thing. Gotta go to my live. Yo, where everybody at? Yeah, I'm tripping, man. Yeah, we're gonna get a stream a chance to catch up with some people, man, so they can come up in here, man. I was trying to do something on YouTube, but I don't know what happened. Yeah, I see people starting to come in here, man. I messed up some things, man. So yeah, but yeah, hey, once again, but we back though. Man, this is K-Sap, the man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. What up? Man, I'm gonna wait for the stream to catch up with some people, man. I see we got 29 people in here watching right now, man. I apologize for the start of the show. We messed some things up, but I guess we'll get it cracking. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all being patient, but y'all know what it is. Man, I see y'all see the title of the show. The title of the show, the switch up. We got to talk about Tony Grossi today. Man, once y'all come in the stream, do me a favor, man. Hit that like button. Share the video out. Tell a friend to tell a friend that your boy K-Sap is back at it again. So, yeah. So y'all let me know. Y'all come on up in here.
Oh, that's my DJ K-Sap. You are now in the mix with DJ K-Sap.
All right, now we back. Spaceboy 10. What it do, fam? Your channel is dope, bro. I appreciate that. Appreciate you chiming in, man. We're gonna get off into it. Shay Boost, what up, though? Steve, what up, though? Yeah, I had some technical difficulties to start the show out, but we back now. We're gonna run it up. Appreciate y'all coming in, being patient, man. We got 46 people in here watching, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video. Michael Graham, what's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate all the comments, man. Y'all come on in, man. Make yourself comfortable, man. Pull up, share the video, drop a like on it, man. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't joined the channel yet, man, join the channel, man. We got the members. We're going to start doing members only content, man. To join the channel, it's only $2.99 a month. We're not trying to hit you over the head, but we're going to start doing some exclusive content for you guys. Also, we're going to be doing the playback where we all can sit and watch the Cleveland Browns play football, and we can analyze the game as it's going live. So y'all guys, if you haven't joined the channel, man, join the channel, man. Join the channel. It's only, what's up, Chancellor? Join the channel so we can get it popping. So if you join the channel, just hit the join button. It's only $2.99 a month. We're going to start doing exclusive, content. We're going to do some things on playback where we all can come in and watch the Cleveland Browns play football and watch how bad things are, and we can watch the game together and we can chat along. So I appreciate that. We got 67 people in here watching. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video. But y'all see the title of the show. It's the switch up, man. Tony Grossi is out there switching up. And the crazy thing about it is, man, I had this information sent to me. And like I said about receipts, I keep receipts. Somebody's granddaddy. I appreciate that. Support the love. The circus is making a lot of people some money. Hey, you got to get it how you can get it, man, in these times, man. Sometimes they say you got to ride the wave, man. Lisa Moore said collusion. The NFL has a lot more of minions. Yeah, but you know how that is. Yeah, y'all go and subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all join the channel, man. Appreciate the stream that we did yesterday, man. Appreciate all the love that was shown in the chat. Appreciate all the donations, all the super chats. I appreciate all the people that be gifting people subs to the channel. That's love right there. So without further ado, man, we got to get off into the meats and potatoes of this show, right? Because we ain't going to be long tonight. We just come to expose Tony Grossi even more because it's a lot of propaganda. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of things that are going on surrounding around Shedeur Sanders. It's a lot of narratives that Tony Grossi has painted with Shedeur Sanders, and I don't understand why he did the great switch up. I don't know why he did a about-face 360 from everything that he was saying pre-draft. But we're going to listen to what y'all's boy Tony Grossi had to say pre-draft when he was talking about Shedeur Sanders. It's kind of diabolical how he switched his position because, like I told you, man, it's a lot of stuff going on, and they want to make you believe that Shedeur Sanders is that bad. But like I said about Mary Kay Cabot, she already knew Shedeur was elite. Tony Grossi knew that too. That's why there's catalogs out there where you can get the receipts. And I got all the receipts of Tony Grossi. That's why I've been exposing Tony Grossi with this whole Shedeur Sanders thing. So let's take a listen to what Tony Grossi had to say.
Let's get into it. First one, are you buying or selling this rumor? Shedeur Sanders' draft stock is falling and falling fast.
I am not buying that.
Okay.
I think that Shedeur is going to be regarded as the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And
Okay.
it's not going to get anything worse than that. And I think there are, 4 teams in the top 7 that are looking for quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him dropping beyond 7.
Do you think it's just a supply and demand thing, or where do you think it's coming from that like Dane Brugler, very good mock draft guy.
Yeah.
He's got him in the 20s now, you know?
Right. But I think if Dane was a GM of a team who needed a quarterback, he'd have a different opinion.
Okay.
I mean, that's an unbiased look at these quarterbacks, and that they're not maybe measuring Shedeur up to past drafts. But the fact is, he's the second best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
According to most.
Did your opinion on that change after the combine? Because we did talk about that a little bit last week.
I don't think it changed, but I think the gap closed between 2 and 3.
Okay.
Rather than 1 and 2.
Okay.
You know, so he's still firmly number 2 in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of most teams. But you know, if you don't need a quarterback, you badmouth this quarterback draft.
Okay.
Okay. And I think that's what's happening.
Got you. Well, then it brings us to our next one, which is kind of maybe why there's a perceived fall happening. But Tony, the rumor out there, not even a rumor, kind of a report. Shedeur Sanders came off as brash and arrogant in some of his combine meetings. What are you buying or selling there?
Well, listen, I only know what I saw and heard in the media interview.
Okay.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was just so charming and fun and filled with energy. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but I can't imagine that he would submarine his job interview. So I don't know. It just seems like there are people saying things, hoping he falls to them, maybe.
Okay.
I think some of that is in play. And he's an easy target because he's unusual. He's a personality already. He hasn't accomplished anything in the NFL, but he is Dion's son, and you have to accept that. He was brought up differently.
Yeah.
He's always been in the limelight, near his dad. And I don't buy that he's ticking off NFL interviewers.
Yeah. And this isn't something new we've seen. We've seen C.J. Stroud. A lot was made. Remember his testing before and all that, and it seemed like it came out because teams were trying to drive him to fall a little bit, right?
Yeah, there's always somebody high in the draft that gets picked apart.
Okay.
For various reasons, and it looks like it's going to be Shedeur.
Now, y'all guys hear exactly what Tony Grossi had to say about Shedeur Sanders pre-draft. No mention of Dillon Gabriel. No mention that Shedeur was trash. Everything said he was a solid, the number 2 quarterback in the draft. And now all of a sudden you playing games, you playing in people's faces about Shedeur Sanders just to elevate Dillon Gabriel because you don't like Shedeur Sanders. Like, when did the switch up happen, Tony Grossi? When did that switch up happen? I'm trying to figure out how the switch up happened. You went from saying all these great things about Shedeur Sanders, his draft position, you know, all the narratives out there about he had bad interviewing skills with these teams. But you heard what Tony Grossi said. That was charming in everything that he's seen of Shedeur Sanders handling himself well. So that's when I tell you guys about me personally. When I do this content about Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns, I'm giving y'all facts. I'm giving y'all receipts. I'm giving y'all audio. I'm giving you straight from the horse's mouth. And then when they switch up, you can't backpedal because I already got you. I already got you. Tony Grossi, ever since Shedeur was drafted with Cleveland, that's when he flip-flopped and switched and started hating on Shedeur because I don't think he wanted Shedeur to be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And Dillon Gabriel has been there. And now you trying to undermine Shedeur Sanders with all the stuff that you've been saying about Shedeur hasn't progressed. He's not getting no better. There's no other teams checking for Shedeur, which we already caught you red-handed in a lie about that because it's diabolical that the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders 5th round, 144th pick. But teams that have called about Shedeur, you're countering the offer and you're asking teams for a second round pick, a second or a third rounder. So that goes to show that Tony Grossi, you know that Shedeur Sanders, like you stated, is a first and second round talent. You said he would not drop no further than 20 in the NFL draft, and that's still first round. And Trill City, I don't know if you just came in there and did this, but I'm telling y'all, he was caught red-handed. And that's the asinine about this, is because of the fact that Tony Grossi is a flip-flopper. Tony Grossi is a flip-flopper. And I'm going to bring up my man, Coach Marcus from Pro Fan Talk. I'm going to get him in here, and we're going to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation about this whole situation, man. Because I'm telling you, this is diabolical. I told y'all, man, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, man. A lot of smoke and mirrors. Trill City, yeah. I got the footage. I got the footage of Tony Grossi. We caught him red-handed, man. We caught him red-handed. What's up, Michelle? I see y'all in the building, man. We got 148 people in here watching, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all become a member of the community, man. Make sure y'all show some love and get the memberships. I just don't understand why Tony Grossi is doing what Tony Grossi does. For the people that just now came in here, we gonna run that back, man. Let me get my guy Coach Marcus in here. What's up, Coach Marcus?
What's up, my guy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, man.
Man, listen, I just figured something out like 2 days ago.
What's that?
And the more I think about it, you talking about diabolical, listen to this. So you remember, you old school like me, you remember when Iverson first came in the league.
Yes.
And that's when they first started dress codes. And
oh, yeah.
All of that type of stuff.
Yes.
Who you think was the GM with the Sixers at the time?
That was he had something. He's something to do with the Cleveland Browns now.
That was Ed Stefanski.
Ed Stefanski, yeah.
Kevin Stefanski's dad.
Yeah.
So you got somebody don't like the culture, don't like the attitude, don't like the confidence, and you got the same type personality in Shedeur Sanders. And you got Kevin Stefanski, don't like the attitude, don't like the confidence. That's too much of a coincidence for me. That's too much of a coincidence for free.
But you
for
know,
me.
and
I think I don't know if you ever check out Garrett Bush.
Oh yeah, that's my man right there. He be getting it to him raw and uncut.
He made a good point. There's no benefit if Kevin Stefanski plays Shedeur and Shedeur plays well, or at least as good as Dillon Gabriel. He basically put his neck in the noose.
Oh yeah.
So there's no benefit in him doing that. The only way he's going to play Shedeur is if the GM makes him play Shedeur. That's the only way he's going to do it.
That's what I said. I've done videos about it. I said because when Joe Flacco got traded, right? Yeah. This is my position on that. When Joe Flacco got traded, I told everybody, because when you get traded, that bumps you out. So they elevated Dillon Gabriel to quarterback 1, right? So you be thinking that it's automatic that Shedeur Sanders would be quarterback 2. Why did it take Kevin Stefanski 3 days to make that decision of promoting Shedeur to quarterback 2? That call came from the top. That came from Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to do it. But this is the diabolical thing, though, Coach Marcus. Everything that Tony Grossi has been sparing in the Cleveland media about Shedeur Sanders is not making no progress. He's not good. Dillon is way better, 10 times better than him. Nobody's checking for Shedeur, but the reports came out that the New York Jets was making phone calls about Shedeur, and it's a rumor, but allegedly somebody said that they wanted a second round pick for Shedeur Sanders. How are you going to make a team give you a second round pick, but y'all picked him in the 5th round and y'all think he's a 5th round talent?
Correct. They have essentially backed themselves in the corner. They don't want to play him, but they're going to have to play him because the next time Myles Garrett throws something, it might be Kevin Stefanski. and look, all of those people talking about, well, he shouldn't have took the money. He get what he get. And I'm like, nah, it don't work that way. He took the money. If you want to criticize him for staying and taking the money, that's fair. Yeah. However, I guarantee you in that conversation, there was some assurances and some promises on the part of the Cleveland Browns. And right now, they ain't paying their half of the rent.
Yeah.
And come on, man, you had a monster game. First of all, he was pissed off that Stefanski took him out of the game. He could have broke the all-time record sacks.
Yeah, the sacks. Yeah.
He was on that pace. Then you got a Hall of Fame type game, and you get no help from your offense.
He's been frustrated all week long.
Finds himself in right now. Dillon Gabriel's been getting all of them reps with the ones, and he should. He should. You don't think Tanner McKee is taking reps from Jalen Hurts? Nah, that's not the problem. The problem is if Shedeur goes in the game and he plays just as well as Dillon Gabriel, that means all of them reps and all that development didn't mean a damn thing because you got somebody that hasn't been in the game that's playing just as good as somebody you done put at number 1 for the 5 weeks.
Facts.
So he has backed himself in a corner. Yeah.
And just like Kevin Stefanski said, Dillon Gabriel going to need all the reps he can. So that's letting me know that he's still struggling. He don't have a grip on this offense because we call him Mr. Dinky. We call him Dollar General. We call him everything. He's a dick and donker. And this is what pisses me off about Cleveland in this quarterback situation. They brought Jerry Jeudy in to be their big-time number 1 play receiver, right? Last year, Jerry Jeudy had 87 catches for over 1,200 yards and 8 TDs.
Right.
This year, in 8 games, this guy got 22 receptions for 217 yards, and majority of them was with Joe Flacco. Right. Last game, he was targeted twice, zero receptions, 0 yards. So my issue is Kevin Stefanski either is a bad coach, but he's a 2-time coach of the NFL. And then another thing, he's a horrific play caller. He needs to give up his play calling duties and give it to Tommy Rees.
Well, I don't. Here's the thing. He's not a bad. Right now he is, and this is the problem because it's funny how these situations correlate. When Nick Sirianni got hired and he decided he's going to give up the play calling, and everybody teased and was criticizing because he was going to be a CEO coach. People don't understand when you are an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator and then you become the head man, your priorities must change because you cannot focus on just one thing anymore. There's too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to be an offensive coordinator and the head coach. To your point, he needs to give up them reins because Stefanski's a pretty good coach.
2-time coach of the year.
2-time coach of the year, which means he knows what he's doing, which makes all of this even more asinine.
Yeah.
So do I think that they're going to let Shedeur play the last 4 games or whatever the rumors are? At this point, I don't know. Me personally, I don't hope Shedeur stays in Cleveland past the weekend. I hope they figure out a way to make a trade and get him out of there.
And see that's the diabolical thing. The Cleveland media is like exposing Dillon Gabriel and Kevin Stefanski at the same time.
At the same time.
Because now before you came in, I was letting the audience know about Tony Grossi. Tony Grossi is one of them guys that really don't care too much for Shedeur Sanders. And I'm trying to figure out where the switch up happened. But I don't know if you heard the clip of Tony Grossi before the playoffs, before the draft started, from what he said about Shedeur Sanders to now what he's saying about Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to roll the tape for the new people that just came in the chat. We got over 262 people watching, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Pro Fan Talk with Coach Marcus. He covers all the NFL. He's a big Eagles fan. He's dropping knowledge. He's an ex-NFL player. So y'all go subscribe to his channel and make it happen. But I'm going to pull up this clip, and I want you to listen to what Tony Grossi had to say. Check this out, Coach Marcus. Let me get you up on here real quick. All right. So let me go ahead and play this real quick, man. Let me go ahead and get this right.
Let's get into it.
So
First one. Are you buying or selling this rumor? Shedeur Sanders' draft stock is falling and falling fast.
I am not buying that.
Okay.
I think that Shedeur is going to be regarded as the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And
Okay.
it's not going to get anything worse than that. And I think there are, 4 teams in the top 7 that are looking for quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him dropping beyond 7.
Do you think it's just a supply and demand thing, or where do you think it's coming from that like Dane Brugler, very good mock draft guy, he's got him in the 20s now, you know?
Right. But I think if Dane was a GM of a team who needed a quarterback, he'd
Okay.
have a different opinion.
Okay.
I mean, that's an unbiased look at these quarterbacks,
Yeah.
and that they're not maybe measuring Shedeur up to past drafts. But the fact is, he's the second best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
According to most.
Did your opinion on that change after the combine? Because we did talk about that a little bit last week.
I don't think it changed, but I think the gap closed between 2 and 3.
Okay.
Rather than 1 and 2.
Okay.
So he's still firmly number 2 in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of most teams. But if you don't need a quarterback, you badmouth this quarterback draft.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that's what's happening.
Got you. Well, then it brings us to our next one, which is kind of maybe why there's a perceived fall happening. But Tony, the rumor out there, not even a rumor, kind of a report. Shedeur Sanders came off as brash and arrogant in some of his combine meetings. What are you buying or selling there?
Well, listen, I only know what I saw and heard in the media interview.
Okay.
And he was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was just so charming and fun and filled with energy. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but I can't imagine that he would submarine his job interview. So I don't know. It just seems like there are people saying things, hoping he falls to them, maybe.
Okay.
I think some of that is in play. And he's an easy target because he's unusual. He's a personality already. And he hasn't accomplished anything in the NFL, but he is Dion's son, and you have to accept that. He was brought up differently.
Yeah.
He's always been in the limelight near his dad. And I don't buy that he's ticking off NFL interviewers.
Yeah. And this isn't something new we've seen. We've seen C.J. Stroud. A lot was made. Remember his testing before and all that, and it seemed like it came out because teams were trying to drive him to fall a little bit, right?
There's always somebody high in the draft that gets picked apart.
Okay.
For various reasons, and it looks like it's going to be Shedeur.
Now, Coach Marcus, man. Come on, man. Coach Marcus, break that down for me, man.
That just goes to prove the point that Tony Rizzo don't watch tape.
That's Tony Grossi.
Tony Grossi, I'm sorry, Tony Grossi. Yeah. He doesn't watch tape. He just like a lot of other people, he gets fed a stacked sheet of stats and analysis. He reads it, but you don't watch tape. The only thing he did was regurgitate what he heard everybody else say. That's it. So he wouldn't know anyways. He's just going with the flow. He's going with the popular narratives. He didn't do no research. But I will say this, anybody that did any type of homework, real analysis on the game, nobody had Dillon Gabriel above Shedeur. Nobody.
They didn't even have Dillon Gabriel on the big board, man.
No, he was 4th or 5th round at best. At best. So
Nah, you being generous.
I'm being very generous. But my point is, because you're gonna always have those people. I mean, I'm a former Eagle, and we drafted Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
As good as Howie Roseman is, he's had some misses too. So it's bound to happen to everybody. But at the quarterback position, you're gonna rate a 5'9.5". He about the same size as Bryce Young. Let's keep it a buck. You gonna rate a 5'9" quarterback over the guy that had the best completion percentage, 6'2", had a good arm, stood in the pocket, delivered the ball on time and on target with somebody in his face, all of that type of stuff. And here's the thing that always just makes me so angry. If Shedeur Sanders was playing like Dillon Gabriel was right now,
oh yeah,
he would have been cut.
Man, no question.
Maybe he would have made it to the end of the year, and they probably would have either released him or something like that. Because they'd have been looking for another quarterback anyways. If the script was flipped, everybody would be dragging Shedeur Sanders through the damn dirt.
It's
happy because he
diabolical.
wasn't as good as he thought he was, and he was trash. And they saying that now, and they ain't even seen him play. So if they doing what they want to do, I don't know what the conspiracy is against him. I never believed the fact that I heard the rumors that Stefanski was scared that if he started Shedeur and Shedeur did pretty well, he was going to lose his job to Dion. And I was like, Dion might be out of coaching for good next year.
Yeah.
Like, he worried about his health.
Yeah, exactly.
He got his own issues getting blasted the other day.
Yeah.
So, like, I never believed anything like that. But at the end of the day, and to me, this is part of the issue that goes back to Myles Garrett. The easiest way to lose a locker room, because you have to put effort, coaches have to put some effort. That just don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But the way you lose a locker room is when your team has zero confidence in what you're trying to do. And what a head coach in the NFL must do is put the best pieces on the field that give your team the best opportunity to win a game. And he ain't doing that.
But he says
Everybody knows it.
He says every week he's putting his team in the best position to win. You haven't showed me nothing.
When's the last time you believed everything a head coach said in front of a mic?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But to my point, what I'm saying is you're so hell-bent on going down with the sword of Dillon Gabriel that you came out after you saw what he did against the New England Patriots. But the narrative that you started, Kevin Stefanski, was that Dillon Gabriel, with his experience, the 67 games that he started in the FBS, the most in history, a 6-year senior, that he had smarts for the game, he had IQ, and he had experience. But you go back and look at the footage from this past weekend against the New England Patriots. Some of the places that Dillon Gabriel was throwing the ball, I don't know where he was throwing the ball. What quarterback will be in the end zone and take a safety the way Dillon Gabriel took a safety? And then there's some times where, Jerry Jeudy is wide open. He's overthrowing him. In the Pittsburgh game, wide open in the back of the end zone, throws the ball out of the end zone. Don't even give your wide receiver a chance to make a play.
Right.
Then the first time we saw Dillon Gabriel push the ball down the field, it got picked off. And he just closed his eyes and threw that ball up there. And then the linebacker on the first pick, what was he looking at?
Not at him.
That's what I'm saying. So when we talk about dip and dunk, your wide receivers, your main two wide receivers, Jamari Thrash and Jerry Jeudy, had 0 catches for 0 yards. You telling me that Sampson out of the backfield, a damn running back, had 8 targets. He had 5 receptions for 29 yards, 8 targets. Then you had Quinshon Judkins, where he had 2 receptions for -3 yards. So that lets me know that the offense is not going down the field. It's all side to side, dip and dunk, roll out to the left, a quick pass. Then your tight ends. The first possession he had with Harold Fannin Jr. for the touchdown, that was a great play. That was probably one of his better balls because he hit the man in the flat, wide open. He walked into the end zone. But after that, New England exposed him because leading up to the game, them cornerbacks for New England, they was being interviewed and they was licking their chops, talking
Licking
about
their chops.
we're gonna get the ball off of Dillon Gabriel. And a lot of people, you look at these podcasts, look at the Kelseys. The Kelseys are advocating to get Shedeur in there. Everybody wants to see Shedeur. And the crazy thing about it
but
is,
the right people.
leading up to this game, Coach Mark, I want to ask you a question. Where did this mysterious back injury come from? This back tightness? Where did all that come from?
When I heard that, the first thing I thought of was he's about to get traded. That's the first thing I thought of, because that's the only reason you're going to hold somebody out all of a sudden. You don't want to risk them getting hurt, possibly getting in the game, getting nicked up right before a trade. So we'll see when the trade deadline hits, but that is the first thing I thought of, because that happens all the time. Such and such was a healthy scratch. They did that with Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. But we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that plays out next week.
But see, my thing is, Coach Marcus, we saw in Colorado, Shedeur Sanders was the most sacked quarterback in the FBS year one at Colorado, right? The beating that he took. And I was telling people, he had a back issued in, right? It was up to his daddy to take him out of that last game for Shedeur not to play, because Shedeur wanted to play.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was confirmed after that through Well Off Media, shout out to them, where Bucky did a video, was talking about, yeah, Shedeur, got some kind of back ailment, but they didn't need surgery, just went through rest. So leading up to this game against New England, somebody said that somebody in his camp said that, yeah, he was experiencing back tightness. But the report that Bucky said yesterday, he said, oh, that was a lie. Wasn't nothing wrong with Shedeur.
Yeah. They playing the game. This is the ugly side of the NFL. This is the politics that you hear. This is the numbers game, all of that type of stuff. This is the dark side of it. The game ain't fair. Period.
It's diabolical,
not
man.
fair.
It's diabolical how they doing it. And when they said about the collusion, and I look at it like this. I believe Eric Dickerson when he said that them calls came in to have, Shedeur not being picked.
Yeah, I agree.
He's standing 10 toes down because he said he got from reliable sources.
He got it on good authority. But even before then, man, it was, somebody asked me about that, and I said, anytime you use the word collusion or conspiracy, you make it way too complicated. I can tell you what happened. Whatever happened in that interview with Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
However that argument started. Shedeur thought he was trying to get over on him, and he didn't like it, and he had words, and Daboll said something, and it just, however it got testy in there. However it happened, it happened. First thing Daboll does is call his GM. If the GM wasn't in the room already.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what happened. First thing the GM does is talk to the other GMs. They always do that. That is standard practice. That's how people drop in the draft, because they talk amongst each other. Let me tell you about this interview. This guy was terrible. Our personal workout, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. They talk. That's how it works. So when whatever happened in that interview, the Giants GM called his boys like they always do, and they talk about what happened. Then the word got around. It wasn't no collusion. It wasn't no conspiracy. That's what they always do. So from that standpoint, I would say this is where I look at Deion and say, okay, you got to teach your son, when you going into that, it's still a job interview. You don't count. And you still got to put your best foot forward. Do I think he probably came off wrong and stuff like that? Probably. For him, he ain't used to that, because he ain't never had to dial it down.
Yeah.
So you can be yourself, but you still got to play the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he failed. But we've seen people in the past that have done much worse than that. We've seen essay problems. You saw what just happened with when we drafted Jalen Carter, and he got in the car wreck down there. And then there's always something going on.
Look at Rice with Kansas City.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's things that happened that were much, much worse than having a bad interview. So from that standpoint, I can say, yeah, they probably tried to, stick the knife to Deion a little bit. Yeah, we can't get you, but we can get your kid. Because he ain't gonna just come in here and talk like he want to talk. But that's why I do think there might be a little bit of validity to Kevin Stefanski. They just don't like that type of proud black athlete, speak his mind, confident, good at what he does.
And see, that's what a lot of people, took it like negative condensation when they interviewed Shedeur in the locker room when he said, man, looking around the league at half of these quarterbacks, I can play just as good or better than some of these quarterbacks that we're seeing right now.
Absolutely.
And they took that as, why he say that?
Yep.
But that's the problem with the Cleveland media and the insiders. They go in the locker room and they put in a microphone in the face of a backup quarterback, a number 3 backup, a emergency backup at the time.
Correct.
So
you ain't seen that one interview with Tanner McKee in Philadelphia.
Exactly. And I told people, I said, if y'all can get y'all's favorite team, and if y'all can name me y'all's 3rd string quarterback, y'all's emergency quarterback, then y'all fully invested. Nobody could answer that.
Correct.
And that's the problem, because you put in I don't hear no interviews going to Dillon to ask Dillon how he feels, but Dillon feels that pressure right now.
Absolutely.
So everything that Dillon does, I think the pressure is getting to him, because
absolutely
he goes out there and see now, look, Coach Marcus, there's reports out, and I think this is true, that Dillon and Kevin Stefanski got the same agent.
They do. They absolutely do. And if you don't think that matters, stuff like that matters.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. So he catching the heat because somebody on the is on your tail, and the longer they draw this out, the worse it's going to look. And what's going to make it even worse? The minute that Dillon Gabriel has, I won't even say a good game, but just an average game, they're going to blow it up way out of proportion. And then he'll get blasted again. Because he don't like to throw the ball down the field, defenses can do that. Defenses know how to handle that. They did the same thing to Jalen Hurts. Remember that famous game with Jalen when Ty Bowles down in the Bucs said he can't read the defense?
Tampa Bay got him.
Yeah, he can't read the defense. And he was right. He was. It's not like he couldn't read the defense, but he was struggling with the coverages, the hidden, the late blitzes, all of that type of stuff. That's exactly what they're gonna do with Dillon Gabriel until Dillon can show that he can beat it. And right now, he's scared to throw the ball downfield because he knows it's gonna be a turnover.
Exactly. And you take Quinshon Judkins away from him, he's really exposed. He's hurting. If that run game don't get going, he's exposed. That's why against Pittsburgh, he had to drop back and throw the ball 53 times. But see, this is the issue that I have of Kevin Stefanski coming right out after the game on Sunday saying, look, I don't want to talk about that, Barry K. Dillon is our quarterback. See, what he thinks is going to happen, he's taking the Jets lightly, right? So he's thinking that, okay, I give Dillon a chance to play against the Jets. He can redeem himself. And then on the flip side, if I put Shedeur in there and he balls out against the Jets and leads us to a victory, now what they going to say?
Here's the problem, though. The Jets' problem is on offense, not defense.
But okay, but that's what I'm saying. The thing about it is Kevin Stefanski is trying to shortcut it by saying, okay, Dillon he's going to be our guy, right? So if he benches Dillon and brings Shedeur in there, that's going to be the last that we see a Dillon Gabriel. He's going to be relegated to a backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Once Shedeur gets them keys, he's not letting them go.
I agree. But where I have tempered enthusiasm is even with Shedeur, I got to see it.
Yeah, that's but look.
But that's now the pressure is on Shedeur because once they call your number, brother, you better light it up.
I don't think Shedeur believes in pressure.
He better.
I don't think he believes in pressure. We've seen Shedeur over the years, man. That's just Shedeur. Just like Deion said, ain't nobody developing quarterbacks. You either got it or you don't.
I agree 100%. However, in this league, I've seen a bunch of quarterbacks that were a hell of a lot better than Shedeur get under the mic and they struggle mightily.
But
So
that's
all
not.
I'm saying
I
is-
understand, but I don't think that's in
and-
Shedeur's DNA, man. I just don't think he's cut like that. I think he's cut from a different cloth.
I agree, but I'm still saying that I need to see it. Number one, and number two, he playing for the Cleveland Browns.
I understand that. I understand
So-
that. But look, you got to go to preseason, right? Go to that first preseason game with all the narrative that we heard through training camp and practice. Shedeur not getting no reps. He just standing around. Shedeur he has to go after practice to put in work. He's going up to these local colleges, putting in work with these college players, right? So what they thought when Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett was there, okay, this is our chance to throw Shedeur in the fire without him getting no reps, without him knowing the offense, and then he gets in against the Carolina Panthers and he balls out. Do you realize Shedeur Sanders put up the most points for the Cleveland Browns all the way up until they played the Miami Dolphins where they put in 31 points? That's how bad the offense struggled.
But I can't. I'm not gonna get all that hyped up for a preseason game.
But I understand that. But they threw him in the fire without
They did.
The narrative out there was saying Shedeur ain't getting no reps. He ain't getting no practice time. What is Shedeur doing? Just like Tony Rizzo said, give the guy a chance. He's not getting no reps. He's not even running the scout team. He's not even running the practice squad.
To me, that's the biggest issue I have with Cleveland. The most expensive thing on this earth is time, because once it's given, you can't get it back, and you wasting that kid's time.
But look, that's why I'm saying when you came on here and you said that Dillon Gabriel needs all the reps, I certainly agree with you. That's why I'm standing by what I said about Shedeur. Shedeur cut from a different cloth. He don't need them reps. So the narrative out there about Shedeur Sanders not knowing the playbook is asinine, because you take the Joe Flacco, an experienced veteran, been in this league for a long time, 15, 16 years, right? He goes and learns this whole Cleveland playbook, gets traded,
and then goes to Cincinnati.
And knows that playbook where he's hitting his primetime receiver, gave him 19 targets for 16 catches, and that would be Jamar Chase.
Well, it's not. He's running the same plays with the twos. When everybody overinflates that about learning the playbook, he knows the playbook. You're running the same plays. What you need, the reason why you want to go with the ones is you want to get comfortable with your personnel. The big thing is you got to know your personnel. I need to know how fast this receiver comes out of his break. I need to know, can this receiver really take it over the top? How fast can he get separation? Running with the ones just gets you comfortable with your personnel. The playbook is the playbook. He's been looking at the same playbook everybody else has. And then what you do is, talking about Flacco didn't learn Cincinnati's playbook. They said it in the broadcast that first week he got down there. He probably learned about 5 or 6 plays, plus everybody's got plays that are just universal. Yeah, we ran that back when I was with Baltimore. We just called it something else. And he's got that type of recall. But at the end of the day, what you do is you go to the line, you read the defense, and you find Jamar Chase. I'm going to you. Where's Jamar Chase? I'm going to you. That's why Jamar had so many receptions that game. You take your number one receiver, to your point, you take the number one receiver. I don't know everything, but I know you can win this route. So I'm going to you. I'm going to live and die on the number one. And that's what he did. And that just buys him some time. Then you got another week. Then you read the defense a little bit more. And when he lost that game against what was the high scoring game they had? That was the defensive struggle, because Cincinnati still ain't got no defense. But he put up
that was last week
30 something points
against the Jets.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, Coach Marcus, what you just said about knowing, if I can get over the top, if I can beat this man, I know where that man is. And you talking about the personnel and having continuity with the guys. That's the problem. Dillon Gabriel has no continuity with nobody.
Correct.
He's getting all the reps, getting all the shine in practice, and he has no continuity with anybody. Because if you go listen to the media availability, what Jerry Jeudy said, he said Shedeur Sanders probably throws one of the best balls in the NFL. Then you heard what David Njoku said. Then you even heard what Denzel Ward said. Denzel Ward said in practice when Shedeur Sanders was playing against the ones and he tried to pick the ball off, Shedeur put it only where the receiver could get
Only
it,
where the
where he
receiver
couldn't get it.
And not to mention, and ain't nobody really talking about this. I saw it for myself.
Yeah, when you was down there, when the Philly and Cleveland had their
no, I'm talking about when I went to practice, but he didn't impress me when I saw him in practice. But what I'm talking about is when I watched, I think it was the first or second game of the year. All I know is he kept throwing that ball across the middle. I was like, bro, you gonna put somebody in the hospital, bro.
He was throwing hospital balls. That's how David Njoku got hurt with the knee injury.
You can give your receivers barbecue ribs, man.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And see, that's the crazy thing about it is all them veterans have continuity with Shedeur. Shedeur is bringing in that culture. And that's what Kevin Stefanski and that ownership is scared of, because once they throw Shedeur in there, then it's going to be a national spectacle, just like it was up in Colorado. But see, the thing about it is what Mary Kay Cabot, and then we talked about Mary Kay Cabot. Mary Kay
be flip-flopping and she don't want to say what it is.
But see, the thing about it is, Coach Marcus, she was up in Colorado at the pro day. Her, Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, and Jimmy Haslam, right? So they saw firsthand what Shedeur was capable of doing. So, but what pissed me off about Mary Kay is she kept what we already knew a secret until Joe Flacco got traded, and that elevated Shedeur Sanders up. And then what happened was when it elevated Shedeur Sanders up, then that's when she picked the perfect opportunity to come out and say that Shedeur Sanders got elite ball talent. He's an elite quarterback with accuracy and stuff like that. She only did that at her convenience. So now the talk is all this stuff Mary Kay saying, because, the narrative is out there that they want to take the Cleveland media and the ownership wants to take credit for developing Shedeur. But you heard what Deion Sanders said. Ain't no coaches developing no quarterback. You either got it or you don't.
You don't. All you trying to do, this is what development means. Literally. They want your young quarterback. You want to be able to read the defense. You hear NFL quarterbacks say this all the time. The game is slowing down for me. When the game slows down for you, all that means is your recognition gets a lot better. When you step up to the line of scrimmage, you see what you're going to see. Because this is what defenses do. Defenses will wait, especially with young quarterbacks. They will wait to the last possible minute to go to a shift or switch. You bring everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and then when the play clock gets down to under 5 seconds, then you bail out. Then the Mike linebacker drops back into Tampa or whatever coverage they're going to go in, because what that does is that gives the offense less than 4 seconds to change their play, and most times they can't do it. Some defense will wait until the play clock gets to 2. Then they'll bail out. But what they're trying to do is confuse that quarterback. Good quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Jalen, Stafford, good quarterbacks, they recognize the defense, they call the play, they call an audible, and then they roll with it. Young quarterbacks always struggle with that. So when they say development, all development means is how fast can your quarterback recognize what defense is in front of his face right now?
And see, the crazy thing about it is, before we move forward, hey, shout out to Coach G for becoming a member of the Simply Ball Dropping community. But I want to show you something, Coach Marcus. Leading up to the New England game, I just want to put these stats on the board of Dillon Gabriel. I just want you to take a deep dive, and I want you to look at this. And this will tell you a lot about Dillon Gabriel. So I'm gonna put it up on the board. Take a look at this. Dillon Gabriel stats leading up to that New England game. His completion percentage, 59.8, ranked 31st.
Trash.
Passing attempts, 109.2, ranked 27th.
Trash.
Passing TDs 3, ranked 35th. And the total QBR of 30, ranked 33rd, second worst among 34 qualified quarterbacks. And the only reason why he's 33rd is because Quinn Ewers got in the game against Miami, and he was the 34th qualified quarterback. That's how diabolical his stats are. And you telling me that the narrative out there is you going to stick with Dillon Gabriel?
That's what he said. Coming out of the bye, we gonna stick with, when he said that, when I believe it was Mary Kay that asked Myles Garrett. I did a video about.
Oh
this.
yeah, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was pissed off.
Did you see his face?
Yeah.
I did a video specifically about his facial expression when she said that, and then he immediately went into coach speak.
Yeah. Well, Myles Garrett, he exposed Dillon Gabriel and Kevin Stefanski because he said we should have stuck with the run.
Yep.
But they thought different.
Why did they get rid of Kenny Pickett?
Man, look.
Because his hamstring was hurt?
Look, the whole ordeal, because you got to understand something, Coach Marcus. Kevin Stefanski handpicked Dillon Gabriel.
Handpicked him.
Handpicked him. So, like I said,
realize they sat at a table and decided that Dillon Gabriel was better than Jackson Dart?
Man, look. This is what's so diabolical about the whole situation. Leading up into the draft, we heard all the reports about Shedeur Sanders. He's either going to be a first rounder or a second rounder, right? I didn't hear nothing about Dillon Gabriel on nobody's draft board.
Nobody had him.
Nobody had him. It was reports out there. He could have been 7th round or he could have been undrafted.
Yep.
And for him to sneak up in the 3rd round and get picked by Cleveland, that was a Kevin Stefanski pick. Because if you look in the war room and you look at the phone call, it tells it all. So now we had a time where Kevin Stefanski is going to go down with the sword because RG3 did a video about it. If Kevin Stefanski starts this season off 0-6, possibly lose his job. I don't wish no coach to lose their job, but the situation that he got himself in, and the thing about it is every time somebody asks him a question about Shedeur Sanders, he's hopscotching. He can't even address the situation.
I think he's going to lose his job anyway.
Yeah, he moves on. But the crazy thing about it is, man, look, hey, man, we got 415 people in here watching the live chat. In the chat, 415 people in here watching, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video, please, man. Give the video a thumbs up. That's all we ask. Hey, liking the video don't cost nothing. All you got to do is pay attention. All right, we keep it going, man. I see everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate all the love and support. Appreciate the new members. Appreciate everything. But, yeah, moving forward, like coming out of that bye week, like, I was listening to G. Bush. It's a lot of propaganda. It's a lot of stuff that is dealing around Dillon Gabriel where y'all done gave him the opportunity to prove himself, and you haven't progressed in each of your games.
At all. And you know what? You said something. You keep saying it's smoke and mirrors, and it's not. He's letting you know what he's doing because he don't care. That's why I don't think if he makes it through the year, he won't be back next year.
That's all on the table, man.
He done exactly. He done put his cards on the table. I'm sticking with Dillon. Whatever that conversation was between him, Dillon Gabriel, and his agent, he's sticking to it. That's, in my opinion, that's the collusion. What you mean? You watched film on Shedeur Sanders and said you didn't like him. You watched film on Tyler Shuck and said you didn't like him. You saw Jackson Dart, said you didn't like him, and you picked Dillon Gabriel, who's 3 to 4 inches shorter, and still don't have a good enough arm, can't see over the offensive line, and everything that comes with that. And that's who you gonna ride with?
Yeah.
Let that work for you. You go ahead.
Nah, it's sad that the Cleveland organization is this dysfunctional, man. We've seen it over the years, man. We've seen what they did with Baker Mayfield. He got up out of there. Now he's out there in Tampa Bay balling out.
Out, bro.
But now, before this even happened, last week, the trade deadline is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So last week, Rizzo was getting in Tony Grossi's ass because of the fact that Tony Rizzo said, won't y'all just trade the guy? Tony Grossi talked about ain't nobody checking for Shedeur. They don't think Shedeur Sanders has gotten any better.
I saw that.
And then the crazy thing about it is, after the bye week, they're going to clear Deshaun Watson for all football activities.
That's why I think they're going to trade Shedeur. I think they're going to try to trade Shedeur because they cannot get out of Deshaun Watson's contract. They can't.
They stuck with that. But they
stuck with it.
Listen, they still paying Jameis Winston.
Yep.
And he with the New York Giants. They still paying Kenny Pickett.
Man.
And he with the Raiders.
That's about as bad as when I was with the Eagles in '93. Herschel was on the team. Herschel used to tell the same joke all the time. He used to say, "Man, Donald Trump's still paying me money from the USFL stuff." That's what the Browns did. They done gave up so much money and have nothing to show for it. And I feel bad. I'm an Ohio boy. I grew up with Brian Sight poster on my wall. I like the Browns, but this is damn ridiculous. You've heard me say this before. You got everybody at the table, and they are being paid millions of dollars to be the smartest guys in the room, and they are not.
And the crazy thing about it is, chat, don't let them tell you that ain't nobody checking for Shedeur. Because, like I said, if Ian Rappaport and the other guy that drops these bombs,
Schefter,
Adam Schefter, if they would have never reported anything about other teams that was in consideration of drafting Shedeur, such as the Baltimore Ravens, the Philadelphia Eagles, and things like that, that lets y'all guys know that everything that Tony Grossi's out there saying nobody's checking for Shedeur is straight out diabolical, because the Cleveland Browns drafted Shedeur 5th round, 144. But you countering with teams to come up off Shedeur, you're countering with y'all got to give up a 2nd round pick. But y'all didn't consider Shedeur a 1st or 2nd round talent because y'all picked him in the 5th round. But y'all want a 1st and 2nd rounder for Shedeur.
You want his potential value back.
Yeah.
And you're not getting that.
So make it make sense, man. And the crazy thing about it is there's plenty of teams that Shedeur could go out there, like Miami. Miami is a perfect. Shedeur could probably go down there and work out. But me personally, like I said, I've told y'all guys, and I'm going to stand on it. Me personally, I thought Shedeur should have been the #1 pick to the Tennessee Titans over Cam Ward. That's just me personally. Y'all might beg to differ, but nothing against Cam Ward. But I thought that Shedeur Sanders potentially could have been the #1 pick for the Tennessee Titans.
If Colorado would have played a better schedule and they would have rattled off some more wins, I think that would have happened.
But look, the thing about it is men lie, women lie, stats don't. He put up some, tremendous stats. But also, Coach Marcus, I don't know if you heard me say, Travis Hunter got the Heisman Trophy for what reason?
Somebody had to throw the ball to him.
Somebody had to throw the ball to him.
Absolutely.
Jimmy Horn got drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Why? Because somebody had to throw the ball to him.
Absolutely.
LeJontay Wester got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. Somebody had to get him the ball.
Which wide receivers came out of Oregon?
None.
I can't think of them offhand.
I don't think none.
I'm sure somebody.
Not when Dillon was there.
Not from Dillon.
And the crazy thing about it is all the guys that we just mentioned, we look at Shepard, we look at the guy from Arizona, that got drafted, all by coming out of Colorado and what Shedeur did for them to make them a playmaker.
Yep.
Tez Johnson in Tampa. But the crazy thing about it is all the names that I just mentioned, Coach Marcus, all of them have been on the NFL field except for Shedeur Sanders.
I'm trying to think.
How diabolical is that?
You got 2 players. One really, Tez Johnson, and that's it. Chase Cota, is he in the league right now?
I don't know. I know Tez Johnson. He's out there in Tampa.
Yeah, he won. So you got 1 receiver.
That's what I'm saying. And Shedeur, all the receivers that we just mentioned that came out of Colorado.
He played 30 years in college.
And look, and the crazy thing about it is I'm talking about Shedeur's stats at Colorado. None of the offensive line in Colorado got drafted, right? So to my point, Coach Marcus, is every person that we just named, that we rattled off that was in Colorado with Shedeur, all the big-time playmakers, all of them are in the NFL. And the only person that hasn't seen the NFL field outside of preseason is Shedeur Sanders.
Yep. Well,
make it make sense.
It irritates me because they are wasting his time. It irritated me. They had that big kid down there in Tampa Bay, had him running laps all through training camp. They wasted his time. You wasted his time, and there's somebody else that could have had an opportunity and you denied it for that kid.
They
Like, so
lasted
it's
30 years
that
in
stuff
college.
irks me because it's so hard to get in the league.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that are in the league that shouldn't be. And there's so many people that should be who aren't. So I like Cleveland. Y'all gonna get what you get. Y'all gonna get a big dose of karma come sooner or later. So, and guess what? Myles Garrett, there's still an opportunity to trade Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. I heard Myles Garrett and David Njoku's name come up in trade rumors, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like this. When you talking about that Cleveland Brown organization with their skilled players such as Myles Garrett, and what the thing about it is, Myles Garrett had a career day.
Yeah.
And your offense could only put up 13 points. Now, you look at Cleveland's defense as a whole, that's an elite defense. And you tell me your offense can't muster enough points. Your offense can't put 17 points on the board.
Wasted effort.
Empty calories.
Wasted effort. Myles Garrett going to be in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Wasted effort. See Myles Garrett.
And you got one of the most dynamic cornerbacks in the league in Denzel Ward. You got these big tight ends. You got Harold Fannin Jr. and you got David Njoku. But like we said earlier, them hospital balls that Dillon Gabriel's throwing is going to get them guys hurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you, part of me hopes Myles Garrett gets out of there. Like, did you see, we just got this guy, Michael Carter from the Jets. We just made a trade. We gave the Jets John Mechie and some picks. We got cornerback Michael Carter and some picks. This dude wanted to get out of New York so bad, he gave up $5 million on his contract.
Hey.
He had a $5 million bonus in there. He said, keep it, take it off. I got to get out of here. When you want to do something bad enough, you'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, Myles Garrett is probably he's probably marching down that thing because we did a video about Myles Garrett when they asked him about the run game, man, and just the look on Myles Garrett's face, he's getting pissed off.
He leaking.
Yeah, like he's getting pissed off, losing the way he's losing each week. So I want you to take a look at Myles Garrett and his demeanor after the game on Sunday. Look at this.
I like to see us stick to the run a little bit, especially with a dynamic playmaker like Quinshawn. Even Dillon. Both of them getting the ball. Both of them have different styles, but effective runners in their own right. So would have liked to see it, but they saw differently.
Now that goes to show that he don't have no faith in Dillon putting the ball down the field.
None. And eventually he gonna crack. Because the one thing, he is in a very unique situation, right? Some believe that he need to shut up because he took the money, whatever. That's irrelevant. They can't do anything with him. So he can say whatever he wants to say right now. He has impunity. They can't get with him. They can't mess with him. The only thing they can do, if he says something that they don't like, what they going to do? Trade him? He want that anyways. So he is in a very unique situation where he can literally say what he wants on that mic about that team and can't nobody do a damn thing. So if he wants to throw Kevin Stefanski under the bus, he can throw him under the bus, put that joke in reverse and run over him again if he so chooses. So Myles Garrett is leaking.
Oh, he about to explode.
And that dam is about to bust.
And G. Bush exposed all that. He got off into that. But
don't even start that Arch Manning conversation, bro.
Arch ain't even in there. But and look, we ain't gonna we not gonna let Mary Kay Cabot off the hook. Listen to what Mary Kay Cabot had to say on this show before. Listen to what she said.
Getting all the first team reps. Shedeur Sanders is not getting any first team reps. That's not abnormal, Mary Kay, just in a normal situation where maybe there isn't a rookie who kind of needs those reps. But in this case, it was just, I don't know. Kevin explained it. You lay it out for us.
Well, when Joe Flacco was the starting quarterback, Dillon was getting the normal amount of QB2 reps, which is usually 1 or 2 snaps every drill. It's not a lot, generally. But right now, with Dillon needing all the help that he can get, all the time on task that he can possibly get with this young and struggling offense, Shedeur's not getting any. But it set up a little bit of a red flag because everything does with Shedeur Sanders. I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about. He's getting plenty of reps in other drills. He's getting separate field reps. He's getting after practice reps. And then, of course, he's also going to nearby Baldwin Wallace University and getting reps on Friday afternoons on his own with some college players.
Yeah, Ashley, this just sort of speaks to like nothing is normal with Shedeur Sanders. Maybe not his fault, but we just know no matter what it is, nothing is going to be normal when it comes to Shedeur.
No, nothing really is. But again, I think when Kevin said this initially today when he got asked about it, it wasn't that surprising, just given the situation. And I think it's obvious when you have a guy like Joe Flacco, who's such a vet, you don't need him taking all those reps in practice. His body probably doesn't want him taking all of those reps in practice. So those handful that Dillon Gabriel was getting to, mix things up or give Flacco a little bit of a break or whatever the case may have been, that's more understandable than a rookie QB who's now only started 3 games. You need him to get as many reps as possible. Now,
Man, and they diabolical, but that's what I'm saying, man. This stuff that I hear, man, is crazy. But listen to this where Tony Grossi, he can't defend Dillon Gabriel no more. Take a listen.
Nah.
Take a listen to this.
I think yesterday was just Gabriel. I don't know what happened to him. If this game came directly after the Pittsburgh game, I would have said I think he got affected by that pounding he took in Pittsburgh, but he didn't look that way against Miami. He is just not getting the throws downfield, and he's not getting the looks. Isaiah Bond was open on that kind of scrambled play where Gabriel got tied up. He got out of the rush, and he just didn't see him quick enough and threw it out of bounds. The intentional grounding, come on, there's no excuse for that in the end zone. So I'm really down on Gabriel after that game.
He's saying everything but he sucks.
I know it's only his 4th start. Like I said, I've been defending him
bro.
as much as anybody. And I just lay that game on the quarterback.
And this is crazy, man. I mean, look, man, we got 484 people in here watching, man. Y'all drop a like on the video, man. Do your boy a favor. Drop a like on the
know
video.
what? And people didn't make this comparison, but Dillon Gabriel took Dan Orlovsky from the top spot from the boneheaded play of the century.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You can look it up on YouTube. Dan Orlovsky, who's on ESPN, they used to clown him about this to no end, and he's even spoke about it. There was a play when he was playing for the Detroit Lions. They were on the 1 yard line, and he dropped back and literally ran out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And gave himself a safety.
Yeah.
He rolled out and just forgot where he was, and his foot stepped out of the back of the end zone, and that was a safety. Obviously, he didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the butt fumble was pretty bad too, but with Dillon Gabriel being in the end zone and doing intentional grounding, that's got to go up to number 1 in my book.
But the thing about it is the play was diabolical because he just stepped back and there's nobody out there. He just threw the ball. Where's your quarterback awareness? Where is everything that Kevin Stefanski said you was with the experience, the awareness, the IQ? Where was that in that particular play?
In all your 30 years in playing in college, when do you when do you ground the ball? When do you down it and you in the end zone? When do you do that?
Stuff don't make sense. Like some of his throws, like Dillon Gabriel is out there throwing 10-yard passes, 5-yard passes, and 10-yard Hail Marys. That's what he's doing.
Yes. And every now and then he gonna win some of those. But like I said, defenses can game plan that very easily. All we got to do is keep you in front of the sticks. Because when you got to throw the ball 15, 20 plus yards, your percentage goes down and our percentage for a turnover goes up. So we'll play those odds.
Somebody
and that's
said
what he going to get for the rest of the year, as long as
he
he's
wasn't even under pressure when that happened. That's a diabolical thing. He wasn't even under pressure, Coach Marcus.
No, he wasn't. It was a nice pocket. He had plenty of time.
And that's what I hate about Tony Grossi. Like you said, he's saying everything but you suck. But the thing that Tony Grossi does, he makes so many excuses talking about he's not getting a clean pocket. There's plenty of times that he just don't go through his progressions. He does not go through his progressions, man. And he just is.
Y'all know what excuses are. All my frat people, all my sorority people in the chat, y'all know what excuses are. Excuses are tools of the incompetent, which build monuments toward nothing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I made 5, but there's some Q's out there, some Sigmas out there, some Deltas, and some AKAs. We all learn the same thing. Excuses. It is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Paul, the true believer, for the $5 super chat.
Here comes the money.
He said, Tony is crazy. Gilbert didn't do anything in Miami but not turn over the ball. He didn't throw any touchdowns. Shaking my head. Yeah, we'll touch on that. The defense won that, and Quinshon Judkins won that, the way he was running the ball. But see, what happened goes back to when they was playing in London against the Minnesota Vikings. We did nothing, exotic against Brian Flores didn't turn the pressure up on Dillon Gabriel. That's why Quinshon Judkins was gashing us. Quinshon Judkins ran that touchdown. They called it back for holding. But at the same time, other defensive coordinators took a page out of our book. So when he played against Pittsburgh, what happened? They stacked the box. They made Dillon throw the ball. He threw the ball 53 times.
Correct. It works until a quarterback proves that he can beat you. We just went through that in the Super Bowl. Kansas City stacked the box. Saquon Barkley is not going to beat us. Saquon Barkley had 51 yards in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Jalen Hurts went to work over the top. Run it till they stop it.
Yep.
And right now, defenses are going to keep coming at them, keep changing up, keep running the twists and the hidden coverages because Dillon Gabriel, he ain't processing fast enough.
And that's another. I'm glad you said that, Coach Marks, because Mary Kay did do a segment saying that Shedeur Sanders, because Cleveland media, they don't have access to their practices no more. It's limited access.
Yeah.
But she did state, from what she's seen of Shedeur Sanders, the way he has grasped that offense, the way he's been able to come up under center, shift the coverage, shift the blocking schemes, and call out plays and know who the hot Mike is, know who the hot linebacker is, knowing if they're in a zone or a man. He's going through his progressions. We haven't seen Dillon Gabriel come up to the line of scrimmage, didn't like the defense that he sees, and audible out of nothing. Everything is on a script that Kevin Stefanski is giving. That's why they call him the computer. Yep. Everything is the memory is already in there. You just got to stay on script. And that's what Dillon Gabriel's doing. He's a scripted guy. Outside of the script, when he goes off script, you got a problem.
You got a problem. And that's how you play quarterback. You run tempo. You run no huddle offense.
You don't do none of that.
You get to the offense, you get to the line, and you look at the defense. Then you drop back. Then you tell everybody what to do. He's not ready for that yet.
He don't do that.
The only way he would be ready for that is if Kevin Stefanski took Oregon's offense. That's the only way, because now you're running the offense that he knows.
But
they ain't going to do that, because once again, an NFL defense would eat that shit up.
Kevin Stefanski don't call a good game.
No, he doesn't.
He got to relinquish them play calling duties, man. They got to try something different. There's reports out now that he might give up the play calling duties to Tommy Rees going against the New York Jets.
Let's see if he does. Let's see if he does, and then we see what the results are.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't think the problem is what we really see. We got a Kevin Stefanski problem.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people want to make this about Shedeur, but the problem is Kevin Stefanski. Even though you're a 2-time coach of the year, but it's you calling these plays for your hand-picked Dillon Gabriel. Let's see open up the playbook for Dillon Gabriel and see what kind of quarterback he really is, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And Kevin Stefanski is just trying to shut him down every chance he gets. You know what I thought was interesting? Remember when all of that hype came out when he gave the pantomime interview? And everybody thought, it was like, why is he doing this? That's some of the stuff that nobody likes. And I watched that interview. I watched that whole thing. And I thought, when I first saw it, I was like, where's everybody else at? He was talking to one person.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I would agree that was kind of bad form if it would have been like 10, 15 reporters or something like that. He was talking to one person. So that's like a back and forth between one person, you joking, and you got another person back there filming it with the phone. I was like, that don't jive right with me. Y'all making more of this than it should be. Because that wasn't the normal, and it goes back to what you said earlier. Why are you sending somebody to talk to the third string quarterback? What do you got to say?
And that's the problem. That's the problem. See,
now the problem is it's still too many damn number 12 jerseys selling, and they making too much money off of them.
And see that new stadium coming, that new stadium's in play too. And then you get the game against Miami, even though they won that game against Miami from start to finish. Yep. Them people was chanting Shedeur. Then you got Jimmy Haslam's grandkids on the sideline, standing beside him, wearing the number 12 jerseys.
If they don't trade him this weekend, they got to play him coming out of the bye.
Something got to switch up.
Man. I'm looking at Aaron Glenn right now. I'm like, brother, if you ever want to pull one out of your behind, now's the time to do it, bro.
Man,
now's the time. Do not lose to the Cleveland Browns.
You can't, after you coming off the game against the way you played against the Cincinnati Bengals and the way the defense, they got shredded there for a while, but y'all made the play at the end where you gave the ball to Breece Hall and he threw the touchdown to the tight end. But this is what I'm saying. This is the time that your defense got to put it on. Y'all can't hold back. Y'all got to pin y'all's ears and y'all got to go forward. Y'all got to act like New England Patriots. Y'all got to be licking y'all's chops if Dillon Gabriel is still that quarterback. Because if Kevin Stefanski in this Cleveland Brown offense throws a monkey wrench in the system and puts Shedeur in there as a starter, the Jets don't have no tape on Shedeur.
Correct.
They don't have no tape. So, and if he goes in there and balls out, like I said, Coach Marcus, that's going to expose Kevin Stefanski even more.
In my opinion, all of this hinges on if Stefanski is still calling plays. I think that's going to be the difference maker.
Got to come off of it.
He got to. But will he, though?
I don't know. He's so hell. He's not coming off of nothing, man. He's so hell bent on doing what he's doing.
If he doesn't, that benefits Shedeur.
Yeah. Because it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same old play calls.
Same old play call.
They haven't showed me nothing different in 4 games with Dillon Gabriel. Everything's the same.
And on the flip side of that, listen, man, Justin Fields, you better not lose to no damn Dillon Gabriel.
Oh hell nah, hell nah.
You deserve to have your ass sat down and catch some splinters if you get beat by Dillon Gabriel, bro.
That's absolutely correct. And the thing about what's gonna happen is you got to look at this for what it is, right? They lose to the New York Jets. Now what's the narrative going to be? Because Kevin Stefanski, you got to face the music. You really got to face the music now because you were so quick to say that Dillon Gabriel is your starter after what you saw
for 4
against the New England Patriots.
But what he said was that's where his focus is, right?
Yeah. But he keeps saying that we trying to put this team in position to win, to make this team successful and put players in position to win. It starts with getting that quarterback out of there, giving the reins to Shedeur, and let's try something different, like Mary Kay Cabot said.
Well,
but he's so hell bent.
I'm co-signing your point. She asked him about
his focus
coming out of the bye. He said, "That's not what my focus is. Helping this team. That's not what my focus is." And I'm like, well, what is the focus? The quarterback is the key. That's the keystone. If that ain't right, you got to make the change. So that is your focus.
Yeah.
But he can't. Now that he said that, he can't say it again.
Yeah. There's nothing.
He can't say it again. So
he's running.
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
If I'm the Jets, I'm letting Justin Fields run. I'm RPOing the hell out of Cleveland because Myles Garrett is coming.
Oh yeah.
So you got to get the hell out of the pocket. You got to get rid of that ball quick. That's the way to beat Cleveland. You already know he coming. You know where he coming from, and you can't stop him. So you're gonna have to run away from him, or you're gonna have to have some 3-step drops and a whole lot of hot routes. Because your offensive line can't stop him. So you got to do something else. So you're gonna have to run your way to victory past the Browns. And they can do that.
Yeah. Totally agree, man. But look, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming up, Coach Marcus. Appreciate the conversation, man. We got to get back together. We got to get the people what they want, man.
Yes, sir.
So we got to start linking up more, man, and doing these collaborations, man, and talking this football stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, sometimes it's always a healthy conversation. Sometimes we can agree to disagree.
Yep.
But it's all in love and respect. Everybody has their own personal opinions about what's going on in Cleveland. I share my opinion. Coach Marcus shares his opinion. The chat shares their opinion. I love everybody in the chat. I appreciate everybody that was in the chat. The chat was going crazy tonight. It's a lot of people that I like to shout out, and we're going to do a list before we get up out of here. Shout out to Michael Graham that was in the chat, Craig Tatum, Deshaun, Asante, In the Dark with a Smile, my girl Michelle, Dollar Bill, Mark Quinn K, Libby Washington, Starks, Go Taste the Sea, one of my lovely moderators in Chancellor, another moderator, Dollar Bill, my moderator Asante, also FGJR 1963, the Sean Band, KC77. Man, if I'm missing anybody, Craig Johnson, Dwayne Williams, Kelly Jackson, Miss Robertson to you, man, Stone 757. I guess that's Stoner 757. You on that? Ooh wee. We got JT Tweezy 79. We got It's Your Boy Oz, Michael Graham. Man, we got a lot of people in the chat tonight. ADP. Man, it's a lot, man. If I miss you, one of my lovely moderators and Simply Sarah, always holding us down. KD holding us down. Miss Robinson, I don't know if you're new to the chat. Go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you want to become a moderator of the channel. We got Tanya Jackson, Cornbread in them. Man, y'all showed out tonight, man. And Glenda McGee, Universe, all the people that came in from Coach Marcus's channel. Man, Lady Sweetsness to you, man, Megalodon, man, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. We had a lot of people in here, man. Great show tonight. Y'all keep supporting your boy, man, and we keep dropping these bangers, man.
Keep like coming to the cookout, man.
Yeah.
Keep coming to the cookout.
Hey, shout out to Coach Marcus, man. One of my moderators, drop Coach Marcus's Pro Fan Talk YouTube link in the chat so y'all can go subscribe to him. Yep. Appreciate y'all guys saying great show. 2077, I know you just got here. He said some mods are agents. Well,
they spies.
Yeah, they spies, man. Q Dog, I appreciate you. Esquire 1995. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat, man. Y'all showing love tonight, man. We had over.
Shout out to all the Qs in the because when I mentioned that, I saw a lot of people pop up. I saw some Qs, saw some Sigmas. Any other A5 brothers out there? I appreciate you, and AKAs and Deltas and Sigma Gamma Rho's and Zetas, and I feel you and I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. We had 495 people in here tonight watching, man. That's love. And a lot of people always say, man, I got one of the livest chats on YouTube, man. But hey, y'all keep supporting. Y'all keep coming to the cookout. We're going to keep feeding y'all, man. We'll get y'all full. Meshack, you late. Where you been, Meshack? Yeah.
Hey, anybody, I'll probably be going on late tonight at like 10:30 because I get a lot of people from the West Coast. So I'll go late. I'm not like KSAP, though. KSAP be staying up till 3, 4 in the morning. I ain't doing that. I got to work.
Nah, I don't do that no more. I cut that out. Man. Leisure said KSAP with the slap. Great work, King. True Sports Talk. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we trying to give it to y'all, man. Like I say, man, I keep the receipts, man. We give you the facts. We give you the meats with the potatoes.
Yes, sir.
We'll give you a nice little drink that you can digest your food with. Y'all can kick back. Y'all can be y'all's authentic self around us, man. Y'all ain't got to sugarcoat nothing. If y'all feel that y'all got to say something and one of my opinions y'all don't like, I don't mind y'all, putting it in the chat. Like, nah, bro, I don't believe you.
We're not above reproach.
Yeah, it's all healthy conversation.
Yes, sir.
It's all love. And like I told y'all, I always talk back. And I talk back nice. I talk to the chat. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. But look, we're going to get up out of here, man. Look, shout out to Coach Marcus. Hey, ADP, do me a favor. Put Coach Marcus's link in the chat so people can start following Coach Marcus over there at Pro Fan Talk. He does an early morning show with his boy. What's his name?
Tone DeShields.
Tone DeShields, man. They come on early in the morning on Sundays, man. Y'all go join their live, man, and y'all blow his chat up. Appreciate you, KD. Y'all blow his chat up. K-Sap can stay up with K-Sap can stay up when retired, right? Yeah, I can stay up when retired, but I got to keep going, man, because I'm not retired, man. You know what I'm saying? But ADP, do me a favor, drop Coach Marcus' link in the chat so people can follow him. Like I said, man, great show, man. I appreciate y'all showing up and showing out, man. That really means a lot, man, because without y'all guys, man, we can't do this, man.
Can't do it.
But like I always say, man, always support the channel. When you can give a super chat here and there, I don't care if it's $1, man, but that lets YouTube know that y'all appreciate this content on this live, and they're going to keep me off in the algorithm.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you notice, anybody watching from mobile, go in that menu in the middle, slide over to the left and click on that hype button. The hype button is new on YouTube. That's another part of the algorithm now that lets you know you're doing it in these internet streets, man. So go on your mobile device and in the middle where that list is, slide over to the left, you'll see hype and make sure you hype the video.
Yeah, man, hype me up, man. Y'all know that hype me up challenge. Hype me up. Affirmation like a real big, but hype me up. Y'all gotta hype us up, man. Come on, man.
Let me see if I hold on for a second. Let me see if I can I don't know if I'll be able to show it on camera.
Miss Pamela said only 3 per week. What do you mean only 3 per week?
So you can only hype 3 videos per week.
Oh, okay. But hey, look, shit, we had over 495 people in the chat, man. Y'all hype the video up, man. That's 495 hypes from every person. Hype us up.
Hey, can you make me big? Can you see the phone?
Yeah, hold up. Let me go ahead and give you let me see if I can get you big real quick. Now we can see it. We see the hype button.
Okay. It's in that row.
Oh, I see it right there, the hype right in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. You just slide over because a lot of times you won't see it. You got to slide over and click on that hype button. It'll be there.
Appreciate my girl Michelle in the dark with a smile. Michelle. Hey, congratulations to her, man. She became a moderator of the channel. She's been supporting me ever since I've been on, man. You know, Michelle does a lot for us, man. She supports all our channels, man. And she's always in the chat. She be in the chat late at night when we used to be on the D block. Michelle is one of my faithful supporters and faithful subscribers, and she shows a lot of love. So we do appreciate you, Michelle.
Got to build that family, bro.
Yeah.
I got to bounce, though. We're going to do this again, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Coach Marcus, man.
You got it,
all
man.
Right.
I'll be in touch.
All right, cool. And there we have it, man. Had my man, Coach Marcus, man. That was a great show, man. Great collaboration. And like I said, man, we can agree to disagree. Everybody has their own personal opinions about what's going on. But like I've always said, I'm going to give you the facts, the meats and potatoes. But we had a great show, man. And I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Esquire, I appreciate the $2 super chat, man.
Here comes the money.
Appreciate you, Michelle. Esquire, man, good looking out, man. I just made you a moderator of the channel, Esquire. So y'all give Esquire a round of applause. He just became a moderator. So Esquire, appreciate your donation, man. See, that's what I give back to people. You know, they donate. Hey, I appreciate you, Craig Tatum. They donate to the channel. They become members, man, and I reward them with things, man. You know, the other day we gave a free giveaway. We gave away 3 Simply Ball dropping camouflage hoodies because that time of the year is coming around. Keep you warm. Yeah. So y'all just do me a favor, man. Just hit the subscribe button. Turn on your post notifications so every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Also, look, this is what I'm saying. This is what we're gonna do. Just become a member of the channel. It's only $2.99 a month. I'm not trying to crack nobody over the head. You get special perks. You're gonna get merch. You're gonna get first dibs on a lot of stuff, man. So we're gonna come back tomorrow, our show tomorrow, man. We're gonna do 4 more hoodie giveaways, and we're gonna do some t-shirt giveaways. So appreciate y'all coming in. People were asking who Dillon was throwing the ball to an imaginary. Yeah, he did throw it to an imaginary receiver. But yeah, but look, great show, guys. Appreciate all the love, man. And all the support, man. I couldn't do it without you guys, man. But yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Check this out, y'all. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Guess what? We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.